Yes, sir. Shalom, shalom.
Man.
We're back at it, man.
Yes, sir.
It's your brother JT.
Brother Paris, we call PJ for short. You already know Chronicles in here.
Yes, sir. So come with another edifying message, man. First of all, I want to give all glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. I want to, of course, give all double honor to the hopefully elect, Salaki. Got me. And also want to give honors to the apostles, Salaki, that came before us, pushing this truth and sincerity. Also want to give a hearty shalom to Akim, or the brethren out there. Also a hearty shalom to the supportive and submissive Aqua, the sisters out there. Being true and modest women of the Most High, man. But, come with a good message, man, for fellow followers out there. Just trying to push the truth. And the truth is that, in fact, that we are the chosen children of God, man. We are the Israelites that the Bible speak of. We're gonna start with scriptures. The scripture will back up, man. We're gonna start. Let's see. The book of Ecclesiastes. Let me get it right.
You at 4 and 16.
All right. Give me a second. All right, here we go. Book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 4 and verse 16. There is no end. There is no end of all the people, even of all that have been before them. They also that come after shall not rejoice in him. Surely this also is vanity and vexation of spirit, man. So talking about there's no end of all people, man. So you'll hear folks that have that, you may not heard folks say that that we are the Israelites or the Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speak of. And some folks they'll probably be like, oh nah, those are just the people that were of the Bible. When those people have always been, they always have been, man. You feel me? So
Exactly.
let me go to Ecclesiastes. I'm gonna stay in the book of Ecclesiastes.
7 and 4. 7 and 4.
74.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right.
Go ahead.
Oh no, Salaki. It's
7 and 24.
7:24. Yeah. All right. And it says that which is far off and exceeding deep, who can find it out, man? That which is far off is his truth, man, and exceeding deep is his truth. And you're not gonna get this type of edification at your church, man, or your typical Baptist or
Synagogue, whatever you
right,
want.
right. They're not gonna tell you, that you are the chosen children of God. And we even got so-called black pastors out here, man, that be, that's supposed to know, man, but they ain't pushing that, bro. They ain't pushing that truth for real. So, all right, let's see. Gonna jump to Romans chapter 9, verse 13. All right, and it says, "As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated." Esau is who you would depict as a so-called white man, and Jacob is who you would depict as not just a so-called black man, but also so-called Native American or Hispanic. Um, but Jacob name was ordained by the Most High as Israel, and as we all should know, that we are a part of the 12 tribes of Israel. So we're gonna back that up with scripture. So, go to Genesis. Genesis chapter 32. We're going to start at verse 24. It says, "And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day. The man that Jacob was wrestling with is the Most High. And when he saw that he prevailed," this is verse 25, "and when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh, and the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint as he wrestled with him. And he said, Let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, Salaki, except thou bless me. And he said unto him, What is thy name? And he said, Jacob. And he, which is the Most High, and the Lord, he said, Thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power with God and with men, and has prevailed." All right, so the Most High, he, you know, Jacob was, he was wrestling with the Most High, man, and bro, whole joint was out of place, right? And bro,
Exactly.
and he kept fighting, man. The Lord, he liked that, man. So
The Most High gave him a permanent limp. Like
right,
from that day on, he walked with a limp, man.
right.
I'm the person you know in the Bible to wrestle with the Most High like that, man.
That's what I'm saying. Come on, man. But
That's how you know you had favor for him. To live after that, you
right,
wrestle with the Lord and to live after that, man.
bro, whole joint was out of place. He was like, I ain't with that. Right,
You know how
and
powerful that is, man. How blessed you got to be.
man, how much spiritual will you gotta have, man? Fight. Come on, bro.
Wrestle with the Most High.
Yeah, but
Crazy.
the whole point of that, man, is that the Most High, he changed Jacob's name to Israel, who would be the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. And I'm gonna post I'm gonna post a breakdown of the different tribes, so y'all be able to
Mm.
be that boy Black and Blue, my dog Marcus. Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna put a breakdown, man, for the breakdown of the 12 tribes, so y'all get a better inlook to it. But I'm gonna keep it going. You wanna take lead,
Oh, yeah.
Paris?
I take over and jump in. Just like a lot of folks, they'll say, well, they're ignorant, say the word Jesus, but it's Yahweh Shai. But they'll say that he came for everybody.
Mm.
That he didn't come for the Israelites. Just like Brother Jamal was saying earlier, that the Israelites are done away with, which we kind of got onto that. That hey, Salaki, Salaki.
Hey,
But we kind of got into that no nation is done away with. So he didn't do away with the Israelites.
all right.
But that when Yahweh Shai came back, that we need to get into this word, get into this Bible. That who did he come back for? He came back for the lost sheep of Israel. And a lot of people forget this and they don't tap into this verse. And I want to start with Ezekiel 34 and 31.
Mm-hmm.
And ye, my flock of my pasture, are men. I am your God, saith Yahweh. So right then again, he's saying my flock. So my flock, this is pertaining to just one people, one nation. So he's claiming one people, one nation there. So let's get Matthew 15 and 24.
All right.
But he answered and said, I sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So again, right there, he's letting you know, Yahweh Shai letting you know again who he's paying and sent for. He wasn't sent to save everybody because at that time salvation wasn't for everybody. The Romans were ruling, everybody else was fine. Our people was the one that was hurting. They were at a lower state. So
Yeah.
he only had to come save us. Like in this time, he only needs to come save us. Because we're the only people that's crying out for help. Is hurting right now. And then another thing that people they like to argue about is, well, we don't know what color Yahweh is. We don't know what color the prophets are. Well, the Bible tells you plain as day what color, what they look like, what color it was, what their hair was. But people like to gloss over this, or they like to say, well, he might look Middle Eastern, but you don't really know what Middle Eastern look like.
Yeah.
The Negro ruled the Middle East for thousands of years, but people don't like to talk about this stuff. They just gloss over and try to make it an everybody thing when it never was an everybody thing. This was a family thing. And I wanted to tap into Song of Solomon 1 and 5. I am black, O comely, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, in the tents of Kedar. as the curtains of Solomon. Well, Kadar, if you want to understand what that means, Kadar just means very dark, and it's pertaining to the look of the skin, not much like the Ethiopian or the African or the Hamite, but dark like a Negro dark.
Mm. Yeah. They also talk about how I believe in the Book of Revelation. Can't
Mm-hmm.
remember off the top of my head, but paraphrasing, man, Yahushua, he had skin, I say, of brass burnt in the furnace, man.
Yeah, exactly. Burnt.
Very
Yeah,
dark,
exactly like burnt brass, man.
right?
You
And
got and you hold up a people. You heard up a piece of burnt brass to your head right now. It's
right,
gonna look just like your skin, but you got people arguing with you like, oh no, bro, he's Middle Eastern. You no, come on, man. Let's stop lying right now. And if you say wool, well, who hair look like wool? You know
right.
what I'm saying?
You
Like,
got,
come
you
on,
got
man.
the elder, so-called black man, man.
Exactly.
So that just further push it, man.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then I wanted to go to Revelations because a lot of people they still were ignorant would say, well, that's done away with. The promises are done away with, and at the end, that everybody's gonna be welcome in. Well, again, the Lord tells you again that who He's coming back for, and who salvation's for, and who He's looking for.
Mm. Okay. Hold on, I got.
I was got a question. So, what's
Yeah.
the difference between you, all's religion, Baptist church? Well, this is first of all, this is not a religion. This is like a culture. Like a way of life.
Yeah.
Like to draw a comparison, this is just like you see people from India or Saudi Arabia. They come over here. That's a whole way of life. That's not a religion. That's a culture. That's a way of life. It's the same thing. We're returning back to the way we were before we got into slavery, because we were stripped who we were originally, our original name, our our language, everything. So we only knew what people were giving us.
Mm.
So when you get all these denominations of Baptists and all these came from Esau, or the so-called white man, because he created them denominations to confuse us, to not make us tap back into our heritage. Because if you read this Bible is actually written by a black man. Because
Right.
if you really read into it and you read into what it says, you understand that ain't no way no white person wrote this Bible, because it's not in their benefit to write it. It don't benefit them.
Uh,
But people who don't really tap into it and read it, and just let the pastor read one or two verses without going into the history of it, they can get easily fooled. Because a lot of people, they'll get taught the Bible their whole life, but they'll never really get the real meaning of it.
and of course, man, like all, just about all history has been quote unquote whitewashed, man. So it's been
Mm-hmm.
whitewashed to give them glory, man. Make them feel like that they just so superior. That little poor connection.
Exactly, exactly, exactly,
But yeah,
exactly.
man, they even
But the thing was, is that as this Bible was being created, it was written by black men, but they were having race riots in Europe. A lot of people don't understand that black people ruled Europe at a time in the 1700s, but we were having race riots, so they were taking us out of our rulership. And what they were doing is they were taking down religion to different books, and they were covering them up and trying to switch them up to fit them, to put their face on the book and all
right.
this type of stuff. Yeah, just like right there, Darian. Darian got you. First Maccabees 3:40. Yeah, exactly. So they was doing all this. So a lot of people would think they'd be like, well, they just pushed the religion on us. No. All they did was they converted us to a whole other language, confused us with our own religion, and made us forget originally who we were. Because one thing even the Bible tells you in Ecclesiastes 1:1 is that the Hebrew tongue is more powerful than any other language. So when you take the Bible out of the Hebrew tongue, it doesn't have the same it doesn't have technically the same meaning. It does, but it's not as powerful, because one word in Hebrew can mean many things. You can have in English, it's pretty much straightforward.
Let me pull that out, brother Darren just put in there.
Exactly. Yeah, you can pull that out, and then we'll hop back in the lesson.
So what that you got? First Maccabees
Mm-hmm.
3, verse 45. Make sure. All right. All right. Starting at verse 45. So now Jerusalem lay void as a wilderness. There was none of her children that went in or out. The sanctuary also was trodden down, and aliens kept the stronghold. The heathen had their habitation in that place, and joy was taken from Jacob, and the pipe with the harp ceased. Wherefore the Israelites assembled themselves together and came to Massah over against Jerusalem. For in Massah was the place where they prayed aforetime in Israel. Right? And they fasted that day and put on sackcloth, cast ashes upon their heads and rent their clothes, and laid upon the book of the law, wherein ye heathen thought to paint the likeness of their images. So basically, man, it's like that's just clarifying with the whitewash, man, and how the heathen, who in reality is the so-called white man, so-called white person, they just took hold of it. To,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Yeah, we get back into the lesson. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I want to jump into Revelation 7.
Mm-hmm.
Getting that right quick. I'm gonna start with verse 3, and this is just talking about, like I was speaking on earlier. Is you got a lot of people talking about, well, that's done away with. Well, salvation for everybody. He's coming back to save everyone. Well, no, specifically in Revelation, he went over who he's coming back for, and he's coming back for his people. So let's tap into this. I'm gonna start at verse 3. Saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of Yahweh in their foreheads. So he's talking about the servant. He's talking about his people, the people that have served him, that have worshipped him and obeyed his laws, his statute, commandments. 4. I have heard the number which of them which are sealed. There were sealed 144,000 in all tribes of the children of Israel. So again, he's telling you right here that he's sealing a specific number, a specific amount of all the tribes of Israel. There are 12 different tribes. And just like Brother Jamah said, we will get in that later and we'll explain it deeper. I'll put when I put this on YouTube, I'll put a picture and it'll explain it a little bit deeper about the 12 tribes. And then verse 5, of the tribe of Judah were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Reuben were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Gad were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Asher there were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Nephtali, there were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Messanim, there were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Simeon, there were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Levi, there were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Issachar, there were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Zebulun, there were sealed 12,000. And of the tribe of Joseph, there were sealed 12,000. And of the tribe of Benjamin, there were sealed 12,000. And then I want to get to verse 9, because verse 9 is where a lot of people, they just jump in, they'll be like, see, right here, right here is where it says, this is talking about, let me read it first and I'll explain it. 9, and after this I behold, lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and the palms in their hands. So right here, this will get confusing, and people will be like, "See, right there, that's including everybody. That said all kindreds and all nations." Whoa, 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 right there.
Yeah.
Our people were scattered to all nations among all kindreds. So what happened was we got mixed in, and we don't look like how we look. Like every Israelite don't look like me and Brother Jamal. They might not have as kinky hair, or they might not be as dark or kadar as me and him, but they're still Israelites. And what makes them Israelites is that their father is an Israelite, and that this truth, it messes with their spirit. They might not look like us, but this truth, they pushing this truth. They pushing this truth that Yahweh is a black man.
All
Black is cold, bro. Don't get no colder than that. White beard and everything. They pushing this same truth, and that's how you know that you're a part of the tribe, because you'll feel it in your heart to put this out there. It
right.
ain't gonna be no denying it. And I wanted just to put confirmation, and I wanted to get into Daniel 9:7. O Lord, righteousness belong unto thee, but hold us confusion of faces,
Mm.
as I said this day to men of Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem. unto all Israel that near and that are far off, through all the countries whither thou hast driven them, because thou trespass, that they have trespassed against thee. And that trespass was we started mixing with different nations when the Lord told us not to. Because this very reason he told us not to, because we would get confused and we would not be able to recognize ourselves as easily. Because he created different races of people for a reason. Because
Mm-hmm.
he created a tribe for different reasons, so you'd be able to recognize yourself. That's the whole point of why he did it. He did it for a reason. He wouldn't have made people look different, different shades and different colors, if there wasn't a purpose behind it. There was different race of people.
Man, and even like just to further push the whitewash thing, man. The the truth is within the word itself, man. Like, no, ain't no. Of course, the enemy wouldn't tell you, or he wouldn't try to uplift you, because that's really, in all simplicity, what this truth does, man. It
Mm-hmm.
uplifts you. It helps you understand your true worth as
Exactly.
as a
Built
chosen,
you up.
right, as a chosen children of the Most High, man. And of course, the pastors, they preaching by guidelines out here. That's what folks they not gonna also look into. About people they just it's not instilled in them to do that, man. But
Exactly.
they
They'll
gonna preach
support.
only by, they gonna only preach by a certain guideline, and they gonna usually pull out the same different books when it comes to their different messages. They gonna teach you the moral messages, but they ain't gonna actually edify you with the truth, man. Uh,
Exactly. Give you your history, bro. And tell you
right,
that these people they talking about in the Bible, these are your ancestors, man.
right, come
That makes a big difference when you sitting here reading this Bible. Then you thinking it's some white folks when it's not. But I wanted to go to Revelations 21:12, and again, he's gonna let you know. So who's salvation for? Who's you looking for? So Revelations 12 and 21 and 12. And I had a great wall and high, and 12 gates, and at 12 angels, and at the gates 12 angels, and the names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of Israel. So again, the 12 gates are for the 12 tribes of Israel. There's no shortcut in that. Like
right,
he only when he made this covenant, he only made this covenant with one nation, one kindred. When he brought them out of Egypt, he only made a promise of salvation and the kingdom in heaven with one kindred. But people forget this. They just think he sat there and said and made with everybody. Well, that wasn't the case. He didn't save everybody, because if he saved somebody from another people, that means he wasn't speaking to everybody. It just don't make sense. So I want to get into Amos 3:1 through 2, or 1 through 3, and hear this word that Yahweh has spoken against you, O children of Israel. So he's only speaking to Israel. He's saying, O children of Israel,
on.
against the whole family which I have brought you up from the land of Egypt, saying, You only have I known of all the families of the earth, therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities. Can two walk together except they be agreed on?
Mm,
So right there, he's like, so the Most High is letting you know right there. He's saying that I only been dealing with you. I only been dealing with one family. And for you to turn your back on me and to worship the other God, that I'm only going to punish you for your iniquities.
right,
That he doesn't look at other nations how they sin and compare to us. When we sin, it hurts him 10 times worse than it hurts any other nation, because he looks at us as the apple of his eye.
right. His children, man.
His children,
Don't,
his loved ones.
don't
He
treat
loves
the
us.
father as a father, starving father would, man. Don't,
Exactly.
you ain't.
That's just mm-hmm.
What you gonna do? You gonna smack across your head, bro? You feel me?
That's just like, when you dealing with your parents. Your parents, when you out there with your friends, they ain't really worried about what your friends doing. They more so worried about what you doing.
Right,
Your friends, they get locked up, do whatever. As long as you come home and you doing what you supposed to do, they worried about you. That's how the Most High work.
and man, I know it's gonna be some people that this side note. I know it's gonna be people that watch this.
Mm-hmm.
Just because we say that the so-called white man is, the quote-unquote heathen, or the devil that the Bible speaks of. It's not us pushing hate, man. It's just us pushing truth. Like,
Exactly.
that's where a lot of brews begin mixed up too, man, because they just be pushing hate. It's not
Exactly. It ain't about hate. We ain't advocating to put hands on people or nothing like that, because we a peaceful people.
Right,
We're gonna let the Most High deal with what He got to deal with.
right, because
When you know you're doing wrong and you going against the Most High people, well, you know you got to deal with the Most High wrath. And me, Brother Jamon, can't nobody on this whole earth stop that. So, man, that's all we tell. We just getting you ready for what's coming, man.
yeah, man, I'm trying to uplift our people, man. Because
Exactly.
you obviously see that through so-called Christianity, that was if you look it up, was created by a so-called white man.
Exactly.
These religions, they're not uplifting you. They're not gonna let you know that you're better than them. Like they gonna always try to keep us equal with them. When in reality, even the Lord said we're not equal to him. Because in fact,
Exactly.
we are chosen children of him, bro. So yeah, man, just had to throw that in because I know how people can be, bro.
Oh yeah. It's sometimes it be hard. It be hard. It be hard, man. But just like again, just like he's talking about, like I want to jump to Romans 9:4-5, and again, the Most High is gonna tell you like who the covenant pertains to, like who he's talking to, like who the Bible. The covenant means the Bible and the laws and statute commandments. And if you follow these commandments, that you're promised the kingdom at the end. Who is this pertain to? So we're gonna get it right here.
Right,
So Romans 9:4-5. Who are the Israelites to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants,
right,
the giving of the law, and the service of Yahweh, and the promises, whose are the fathers, and whom are concerning the flesh. Christ came, who is over all Yahweh, blessed forever. Amen. So again, right there,
right,
right there, he's telling you like straightforward. The Israelites. That's who it pertained to: the adoption, the glory, the covenants, the promises, the law, and the service of Yahweh.
right,
Straightforward right there. And people try to get construed or try to make a whole nother doctrine with one verse when right there he's telling you everything in this Bible is pertaining to the Israelites, uplifting the Israelites. It's built for the Israelites.
right. Yeah, Hawashai even said he came back from the lost sheep of Israel, man.
Mm-hmm.
We can go.
People Facts. People got confused and made an error and think this is a everybody book or everybody thing when this is only an Israelite thing. That's just like people picking up a Hindu book and thinking that's gonna pertain to them. No, they don't pertain to them, but that pertains to them people. That's the same way this Bible works. This Bible only works for us. That's why people read it. They still be foggy about. Well, I don't seem like this could happen. Well, nah, it ain't. You don't feel it that way because it don't mess with your soul, your spirit.
Right. And that's a crazy epidemic across our community, man. And
Mm-hmm.
the saying that it says, if you want to hide something from a black person, what you do? You put it in a book.
Put it in the book.
What is this truth, man? It's truth in this book, man. It's not
You
even a
get
book.
it nowhere else.
So it's like, man, it come down. It really come down to the Most High. If He gonna enlighten you and help you and give you the spirit to adhere unto the truth. But yeah, man, we keep on listening. Um,
It's you. We on the curses.
all right, so we gonna go to the book of Deuteronomy
Mm-hmm.
8, just to further prove that we are the Israelites that the Bible speak of, and that pertain to us. Let's see. And we're just gonna nitpick through a few verses here and there. We're gonna start at verse 15, and I'm just hop around. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. All right, so there's our forefathers, our ancestors. Lord, after he brought them out the land of Egypt, he gave them the laws and commandments, through Moses. But our people, they didn't hearken. So, these are the curses that we had to suffer due to us.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see, go through here. Uh, all right, let me see. Okay. It say, thou shalt be betrothed to a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build a house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shalt. No, I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that. It's a lot. See, the code. Okay.
But yeah, basically, like he was saying, he was reading earlier. He was talking about how you'll build a house and to be downtrodden. That's just like now, or just like back in the day, we would start a business, or we would try to find a life and have a wife, and Esau Edom would come through and just destroy it or burn down to the ground. And we have plenty of instances of where you have a so-called black man or a black community trying to start their own, and it would be downtrodden, just destroyed.
Mm, mm.
Black Wall Street, just name one. Tulsa, Alabama. Tulsa. What's another one? There's one in Georgia. That's in my mind. They made a movie about it.
Yeah, this just one piece of the curses.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 37, when it says, and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee. A byword is just like what what a lot of people would call or would use. You say, you're black. Black is nothing but a byword because black
Mm-hmm.
is color this background. See that? That's black. Not just skin color. Right?
Facts.
Another one. Go to verse. Okay, the Lord. This is verse 20. The Lord shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke in all that thou settest thine hand unto, for to do until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly, because of the wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me. So basically, man, like that just explains why us as a people are in the position we're in now, man. That is just one piece of why we are in the position we're in, man. Because for one, our wicked, and that we won't turn unto the Lord, turn back unto the Lord, and turn unto His law, statutes, and commandments. So, you know, another reason, man, because we've always for centuries been a hunted people, man. Like
Yep.
suffered so much persecution, man, in this country, you know. But see, people don't never consider the spiritual side of things, man. They always think they think so worldly and carnally toward it. So you have to just gotta consider the Most High, man. Consider consider these statutes and commandments that our people ain't abide to, man. So, okay, we're gonna jump to verse 41.
All right.
Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. Man, that right there is explaining slavery in itself, man. 'Cause you had, of course, you had different slaves having different sons and daughters, and they were given off unto other quote unquote slave masters. So you're getting daughters now. But, sure.
And why he looking for another? I just wanted to brother Darren. He got to post some verses. I see.
Yeah,
Uh, Psalms 94:14. For Yahweh will not cast off his people, neither will he forsake his inheritance. Again, he's not going to forsake his people. So the promises that he's made, the covenant and the laws, as long as we keep them and we do right by them, he's gonna do good on them. He's not a man that he lies and he goes back on his word.
yeah. So we jump down to verse 43 when it says, "The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. And who's that stranger that the word is talking about? It's talking about the so-called white man that took, that took complete control over us, man, and treat us as property, man. And they did everything. They accomplished it. Obviously, man, they accomplished it, making themselves feel high and us feel very low, man. Let me see. Get a couple more verses in here. Let me see. We're gonna jump to 68. And it says, "And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you." I mean, and he said, when the Lord said he shall bring thee into Egypt again, he's not literally talking about Egypt, because Egypt also correlates to bondage. Why? Because our ancestors, our forefathers, foremothers, they were in bondage in the land of Egypt, which the Lord took them out of. But due to them not hearkening to the laws, statutes, and commandments, you see that's where that leaded up into them basically being brought into bondage again.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. We're gonna jump to verse 64. And it says, "And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which never thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone." Man, that explains it right there, man. Talking about scatter thee among all people. Man, you got a lot of Israelites, man, all across the four corners of the earth. And man, that came from that time of dispersion.
And
Um,
just like Brother Darren was talking about, he's talking about Obadiah 1 and 4. Thou exalt itself like an eagle, just basically like the bird. Like it's a lot deeper than just like America. The American flag, it goes into the Roman captivity, it goes into the Greece captivity. Esau Edom's sign, which is the so-called white man, is the eagle. Like he loves that symbol as a standard to exalt itself, and just like his hiding, just like he loves to rest on the clefts of the rocks. Just a side note, to tap on that.
yeah,
You go ahead.
back that up. We're gonna jump to verse 49. And it says, "The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle fleeth. A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand." Who's that talking about, man? It's in clear. It's clear text, man. It's talking about the white man, so-called white man, who ended up, putting us into his bondage. And as it says, swift as the eagle fleeth. It was the so-called white man's symbol. He loved the eagle, man. And the tongue that thou shalt not understand. We weren't off bat speaking in English. Even though this is the language that we have come to know. You know, it's shown that Paleo Hebrew was of the original language of the Bible before it was translated. So,
Mm-hmm.
and that further explains it. But yeah, I know I'm going all over the place, but I'm gonna jump to verse 48. I'm gonna get that, and then I'm gonna jump to Zechariah 11:5. But 48 says, "Therefore thou shalt serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness." We say in hunger. I mean, who do you go to for your food all the time, man? At the end of the day, that's the so-called white man.
Mm-hmm.
Who you go to in thirst? The so-called white man. And nakedness for your clothes. Who? I mean, who? You feel me? All the clothes that we got, they all come down to the so-called white man, man. And then
These brands or these merchants, they all really owned by Esau Edom. The banks, the restaurants, everything around our community is either owned by different nations or Esau Edom. He has his hand in everything because he owned the banks.
right, it said, and in want of all things. So, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Man, that yoke of iron is still upon our people's necks, man, in a lot of ways. So, that's just a further validated. But it's not the it's like iron. All right, this is Zechariah chapter 11, verse 5, when it says, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty, and they that sell the say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. Man, when it's talking about the possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty, man, who is that? Who is that referring to? That refers to the so-called white man. You see, and we're in that time, especially now with giving all these these different police brutality or these police incidents with our fellow brothers that are suffering by the hand of the so-called white man. And, they may show you that they've been brought to justice, but there isn't any true justice that really comes from that.
Ain't no conviction yet, man. They just throwing charges, man.
And that's
They
why,
they might throw some charges on one, but there's been 10 black folks shot this week. You only heard about one.
right.
That is, that's how they get down, bro.
And I see a brother ask what prophecies we waiting on to be fulfilled. That's definitely something for a later video, man. We just
Oh yeah,
trying to wake up our people, man. Just trying to get them to understand who they truly are, man. That they are the Israelites. The Bible speaks of.
biggest one that's being fulfilled right now was Jacob's trouble. So,
Gone. We in the meat of it, which is in
yep.
Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 7. Let's see. Now you want to throw something else in there?
Uh, yeah. Where you at Isaiah?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Pull that up. We're gonna start with Isaiah
5:13.
chapter 4, 13. So got this new shit. This new King James 1611.
Mm-hmm.
This is Isaiah chapter 5 verse 13. It says, therefore my people are going into captivity because they have no knowledge, and their honorable men are famished. All their multitude dried up with thirst. Man, that's just further proving just that us, when it comes to us being our forefathers, being in captivity, man, or going into captivity. Um, Isaiah chapter. We're gonna jump to Isaiah 42, chapter Isaiah chapter 42, excuse me, verse 22 and
Mm-hmm.
25. And it says, start 22, said, but this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are of all of them snared and hold, and they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth, for a spoil, and none saith restore. Well, you said it right there, man. Prison houses, man. Who the main people that's filling them houses up? And they have a school to prison pipeline that's really made just for it. Man, it's made for the basically the breakdown of the so-called black family, man. Putting a lot of our men in that sense of captivity, man.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then we're gonna go to 23 when it says, "Who among you will give ear to this? Who will hearken and hear for the time to come? Who gave Jacob for a spoil and Israel to the robbers? Did not the Lord He against whom we have sinned? For they would not walk in His ways, neither were they obedient unto His law. Therefore He hath poured upon him the fury of his anger, and the strength of battle, and it hath set him on fire round about. Yet he knew not, and it burned him. Uh, Yet he laid it not too hard. Excuse me. But that's the first talking about our forefathers, man, our ancestors, that, and really us nowadays are not that's not obedient to the law of the Lord, man, to his
Yeah.
statutes and commandments. So that just further pushing the reason why we are in the position we in, man. Get about two more, and then I'm gonna get about two more, and I'm gonna hand it to you.
All right.
Okay, we're gonna jump to Isaiah chapter 45, verse 3 through 4. And it says, "And I will give thee the treasures of darkness and hidden riches of secret places, that thou mayest know that I, the Lord, will call thee by thy name, and the God of Israel." That shows right there that the Lord does have a chosen people. Those chosen
Mm,
people are the Israelites, and we trying to know that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are those chosen children of the Most High, man. It says, verse 4 says, "For Jacob my servant's sake, and Israel mine elect, I have even called thee by thy name. I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me." Man, the Lord, he showed us right there, right, that he chose us, and that he has elect as within Israel, but we don't know him. We don't know the Lord. Why? Because we ain't following his law, statutes, and commandments. We ain't abiding to his law fully, man. And we just drowned in this the so-called the wine of Babylon the Great, man.
mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, let me see. Let me get one more in. Going Hosea.
4 and 6.
Let's see. Let me see real quick. Oh, come. Let me pull out the Baruch, book of Baruch, chapter
Go ahead.
chapter 2. You see verse 30. So it says, "For I knew they would not hear me, because of the stiff-necked people. When in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves." And what's the land of captivity, man? We are in the land of our captivity.
Mm-hmm.
We were taken out of the land that the Lord promised us, because we didn't hearken unto the law, statutes, and commandments. And keep going, "And shall know that I am the Lord their God, for I give them a heart and ears to hear, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity, and think upon my name, and return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds, for they shall remember the way of their fathers, which sinned before the Lord. And I will bring them again to the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they shall be lords of it. And I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished. And I will make an everlasting covenant with them to be their God, and they shall be my people. And I will no more drive my people of Israel out of the land that I have given them." So, man, that's just a little insight on you know basically what's becoming, man. You know,
Mm-hmm.
he's waking up, his children, and he's even like, for the people that's on this law, you use this use this as your chance, man, because the Lord, we also get into a time where with Trump wanting to censor social media, and it's going to get to a time of the famine of the word,
Exactly.
hearing the words of the Lord, and the true words of the Lord is just helping you understand who you truly are, and waking you up to this truth, man. And, yeah. Um,
And just like Brother Jamal was saying, he was talking about they were going to censor the internet, and it's going to come a time where we ain't gonna be able to get on here and chat it up and do a live, man. Like everybody gonna have to get that or that limp for themselves and get that truth for themselves, man. We just trying to push this truth and this edification right now, so you'll
right.
have a good base, so you have a good base point to start from. Yep.
You want to add anything while I look up Hosea?
Um. Yeah, I was gonna answer this, not to mention they're flooding social media with outside struggles. Oh yeah. They're flooding social media with the COVID-19 and a whole bunch of ads. Like they're trying to get your mind off
Right.
trying to get your mind totally off of the task at hand. Like we should be focused on getting back to our culture, our heritage, our first love. How about Shem Yahweh Shah? But
Um,
they want to get you caught up in all of these different things. It's like, oh yeah, you got the PS5 coming out, man. We ain't working on PS5. People ain't got no job, man. You shouldn't be spending no money right now like that. It's just it's stupid to try to see if you can spend $1,000 on something that you got to have power for. You got to maintain power in the house to do this.
um,
You know.
Not to mention, they trying to bring back the NBA, try to keep folks, try to keep
Yeah, word.
occupied. Man, they that's just all a part of the deceitful plan of the so-called white man.
Exactly.
But that little do they know, this is a part of Bible prophecy, man. That it will come to a time where the Lord's people will wake up and understand this truth, man. Understand that they are the Israelites of the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's that for another video, man.
Are you gonna get Jose 4 and 6?
Yeah, yeah, I'm getting used to the new Bible, man. All right, man. What was that? Mhm.
Yeah, you're right. That is a new push coming through. Yeah.
You see the time?
But mhm.
I don't be knowing nothing about the timing.
Oh yeah, you got a time limit. You should be good. You should have what? Did it show up on there?
Nah, I ain't seen nothing.
Oh, you good. You should have about 20 more minutes. Something like that. We good.
All right, all right. It's Hosea, chapter 4, verse 6 through 9. They shall go. This is starting at verse 6. They shall go with their flocks and with their herds to seek the Lord, but they shall not find him. He hath withdrawn himself from them. They have dealt treacherously against the Lord, for they have begotten strange children. Now shall a month devour them with their portion. Blow ye the cornet of Gibeah and the trumpet of Ramah. Cry aloud at Bethaven after thee, O Benjamin. Ephraim shall be desolate in the day of rebuke. Among the tribes of Israel have I made known that which shall surely be. So, man, that basically just confirming that the Lord sticking true to his promise, man. That, you know, we didn't our forefathers did not hearken unto the law, statutes, and commandments that he bestowed upon them through Moses. So those those curses they still upon us today as a yoke, as
Hmm.
upon our necks, man. Mm. Yeah, you take it, man.
And just like he was talking about earlier with the curses, is that the Most High Himself has spake these things, and a lot of people wonder why we don't have any black leadership, or we don't have any black rulership mentality. Is because the Most High spoke all these things, and He put these curses on us. And I just wanted to read a little bit out of Limitations, chapter 2, verse 1. How has Yahweh covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in His anger, and cast down from heaven unto earth beauty of Israel, and remember not His footstool in the day of. So basically, when he's talking about cast down from heaven, he's talking about heaven as in the heaven where the Most High is. He's talking about heaven as a rulership, because there was a time that we were ruling.
Right.
We had kingdoms. We ruled the whole world, different countries in different parts of the world. And you can look on my page, and I'll tag it, add it to just to edify that even more. So, but He took that all away from us, and He brought us at a very low estate. So, verse 2. The Lord has swallowed up all His habitations of Jacob, and has not pity, and has thrown down His wrath and strongholds of the daughter of Judah, and has brought them down to the ground. He has polluted the kingdom and the prince thereof. So again, He's going further and deep, that He's swallowed up all the habitations of Jacob, all the land, all the castles, all that. So everything we own, we don't have it no more. That's why we don't have no country. We don't have a land, and a lot of stuff was taken away from us, because the Most High spoke these things because we did not follow His law.
Come on.
And Most High did not pity any of this. He didn't feel bad about any of this. He didn't draw back His hand. He didn't think about, maybe I shouldn't go this far. He said, this is what I'm going to do, because this is what I need to do to learn this lesson. So He's going to pollute our kingdom, and our princes, they're going to be done away with. So if you don't have any princes, you don't have another kingdom to fall back in line to build up. You don't have another rulership falling back in line after the king. So verse 3. He has cut off His fierce anger at the horn of Israel. The horn meaning the priest and the rulership. So I mean, He cut off the priest and rulership. That's why for a long time we were in darkness, and we didn't have any understanding of the Bible, because He cut off the horn, meaning the priesthood. He has drawn back His right hand from before the enemy, and He has burned against Jacob like a flaming fire, which devoured round about. So He draw back His hand from the enemy. So the Most High at the time, He did protect us. And while we're following His law, statute, commandments, is He had protection over us. And if we did what we were supposed to do, is He would empower us and make us wise. So we make wise decisions as a country, as a people. But when we're not following Him, we fall back. So He pulled back His hand, pulled back the wisdom. So now all the enemies are let loose on us. That's why we're in captivity, and every country's at our throat, at our neck right now.
Yeah.
And when He and that part He's talking about burning against Jacob like a flaming fire. Well, flaming fire just means trial and tribulation, or it's talking about hell as in going through hell as being a condition of a
Right.
people. Like if you say you're going through hell as a person, I mean you're just going through tough times, hard times, and that's what Yahweh was pertaining to in that part.
Well, this saying got 1 minute, man, so I'm going to just
Yeah, go ahead,
up,
go
but
ahead.
I'm just throwing this last part, Ecclesiasticus, chapter 17, verse 24. It says, "But unto them that repent, He granted them return, and comforted those that fell in patience. Return unto the Lord, and forsake thy sins, and make thy prayer before His face, and offend less. Turn again to the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and turn away from iniquity, for He will lead thee out of darkness into the light of health, and hate thy abomination vehemently." So, man, the whole point, just repent, man. Turn back to the Most High, and get back to these laws, statutes, and commandments in these last days, man. But,
Exactly.
of course, we want to give our glory and honor to Yahweh, by Hashem, Hamashiach, Mamalak Yahweh Shai.